Just Talking Ish podcast. Rosa, Q, and Patria. We just talking ish.
Scene. Hey y'all, this is three people, and on these three people do a show called We Just Talking Ish, because we're always talking ish. You may have the logical ish talker, the story ish talker, and then I'm the ish talker that just says whatever comes to his mind,
and that's usually
sex because I'm a male.
That on me.
And sex is on my mind.
Mine too.
And there's probably two of us on here that's getting sex on the regular, but we're not going to get into that.
Well, her shirt says anything can happen, so tonight. So it can happen tonight.
Welcome to episode 2 of season 3. I got a good one for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it is.
This one struck a nerve to a Instagrammer that I follow, and she was just fed up by this clip that I'm about to play right now.
The more bills a woman pays by herself, the less attractive men become, because she's now so independent that all she's worried about is taking care of her family and leveling up. To her, a man has no place in her life because he's not bringing anything to the table but headaches and wasted time. Yes, she's in her masculine energy, and that's not gonna change until a real man steps up to the plate and takes some of that weight off her shoulders.
All right, so you heard the clip, and I'm not saying that dude wasn't making any valid points, but when I read what the lady posted underneath the video, she basically said, why does a woman need a man to not make her masculine? Why does she have to be masculine? Why she just can't be surviving as what everybody else does? A man doesn't have a woman, he pays his own bills, he's surviving. Why is it when a woman does it, we want to call it masculine energy, and because of that, all of a sudden men are unattractive to masculine energy as women? And I agree with what she said. I just didn't agree, with that said video. And there's some that may agree, but I do not. So yes, that's what we're talking about today, if that made any sense. And if it didn't, I'm gonna let Patria make it make sense, because that's what she does for me. When We Just Talking Ish, episode 2, season 3.
There is a fine line between a person surviving and using life skills that all people should have, whether male or female. There's a fine line between that and having masculine energy.
Well, I guess we need to break down masculine energy when it comes to women. What does that mean to you?
So, Rose, you want to go first?
I'm gonna sit this one out right quick.
Okay. So, in all things, there should be balance, right? Black, white, up, down, sun, moon. There's a pair. In most things, there is a pair to offset, because everything is about balance. So you have male and female, and their functions aren't the same. Like, to exist, our functions aren't the same in essence, but we need the functions that each person has to make the whole system work. However, when it comes to life, shit happens and you find yourself alone. And just because you are alone for whatever reason, you have to do both until you find your counterpart. And so cooking for yourself, that's a life skill. So no one is masculine or feminine if they're cooking for themselves. No one is masculine or feminine getting up, going to work every day, providing for their children. No one is masculine or feminine paying bills. Like, you have to do that no matter what sex you are to function in the world. If you a grown ass person and you can't get your own food, get your own money, and live on your own, you ain't supposed to be getting with no other counterpart anyway, because those are life.
You are
skills.
childish.
Like, you know,
You have
So-
been matured in life.
let's
If you're not
be
doing
clear.
those things.
Where the issue comes when you're trying to link with another person, and in this case, we'll use opposite sex because there are same-sex couples, and I'm not against that at all, but we're talking about a pairing. So if you're talking about true masculine and feminine energy, one has to balance the other. So if you're a woman, quote unquote, operating in masculine energy, I don't consider operating in masculine energy as a woman that's paying out her bills. That's a grown person surviving in life. So that example was totally not the right example, because any grown ass person should be paying out their bills, period. When it comes to masculine in energy, men give, women receive. That's the
The
basic.
yin and the yang.
Yes. And so what a man gives, the woman is supposed to take that and grow it and cultivate it where it's showing the fruit of her labor, and it's also nourishing that man so he can go out and get more for her to bring in and create more. That's how it works. Otherwise, women will be sticking things into the man. But the way that it works, men provide, they give, women receive, and make it more than what it was when he gave it to her. That's a baby, that's the money, that's love, that's all of that. Because if a woman feels like this man has put her first, it's not anything she won't do for him as far as protecting, making sure he has what he needs, whatever. In general terms, if it's a pure, you got other outline things in there. But for the basis of this and for the basis of time, men give, women receive.
I'm going to have to say I agree. And there's also a disagree.
Mhm.
And that's only because to me, I feel like this. We just said there's a masculine and there's a feminine. You have to have both for it to be a partnership, for it to cultivate. Sometimes a man can do what are considered to be feminine traits. And that means that he's the stay-at-home dad. He's the one that cooks. He's the one that helps the kids with things, while she is the provider financially.
Mm-hmm.
And it works for that couple.
Mm-hmm.
It works for them. There is no problem. They are with. So when I say masculine energy or feminine energy, either or could have them, because if you're considering by societal traits, this is what it is.
Well,
Now,
in society, man and woman working, because you can't run a household on one income unless you well up in the upper six figures.
that's very much what this
and that's what I said. This conversation
You can't
we already deterred
so one
from.
person, you can't, that ain't even an option unless you
it's
make
some
it.
options, because
It
there's certain
is,
people. There are
but
certain people.
yeah,
I'm just
I
saying,
know.
before we hit this inflation, before we hit this skyrocket of inflation that came about, people were able to have somebody to stay at home. Nowadays, no, you can't, because somebody got to pay
Right.
for the eggs.
Which brings up
Somebody got to find the chicken
talk.
wing. So we own that 50-50
It ain't
or
50-50.
either 75-80. 75-30. Just 25,
Well,
whatever.
I think in a
And some
relationship
days
you
it
need
may
to
be 90-10.
right.
Yeah.
You need to sit down. If we're talking about paying bills, we need
Okay.
to sit down and see, well, what can you afford to pay?
Mhm.
This is what I can afford to pay.
Mhm.
Not necessarily 50-50,
Mhm.
but yeah.
Yeah, these are the bills that I can
I'll
handle.
pay house,
These are the bills.
this, that, and the third, and you get to pay this cable bill or phone bill.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
The thing,
Whatever.
what he spoke in was saying that women will lose respect for a man. Women only
When they
lose
take care of
respect-
themselves. No.
No, women. I got to pay my bills. My kids got to eat.
whether
like
you
I
hear or
said,
not.
And that's
whether-
what the one I saw the story on, and I'm gonna shout her out. Uh,
You got to remember her
Instagram
name to
at
shout her out.
Auntie_Dre. She said, "What do men expect single women to do? Curl up and die because she doesn't have a man in her life? Hell no,
Right.
we ain't doing that."
No.
She says, "We
Right.
the women are not doing that. We are living our best lives like everyone else. If a man wants to
Yes.
be a part of that woman's happiness, then he better jump in
Add
and
to
show
it
up.
and not take away from it.
Right.
Yes. So
Yeah.
technically, like we say, just because I'm paying my bills and because I
make
decided
you
to
masculine.
have a particular
You're
does not make
just
me
literally
masculine.
doing
Doesn't mean that I
everyday
have no
shit.
respect for men. I'm just doing what I want to do because that's what I can afford to do or I want to do. I'm not doing it because, I'm the masculine. No, I got to
And-
eat.
And don't
And I
come.
like to
and
eat.
when he do show up, don't be telling him the only way he can get that pussy is if he pay a bill, because that's contractual.
The bill is already
Prostitution.
The bill is already paid. The bill is
Right.
already paid. So that's
And
not what you're
that's what my
paying
dad
for.
told me. He was like, "You dating, and that's not his address. Don't ask him to pay none of your bills, because whether he's there or not, it's your house. You got to pay your bills. If he's
Right.
a man, he's going to spend time with you, and he's going to come up off something for you anyway. But
Because
never
that's what
ask
he's
for a
gonna wanna
specific
do.
bill. That's what he's going to want to do it. Like, you're not going to have to ask. He's going to hand you $100, $200, $400, and allow you to do and take care of whatever you need to take care of. But if that ain't his house, don't be like, pay my light bill, pay my cell phone bill, because if he up and disappear tomorrow, you still got a light bill and a cell phone bill to cover, whether he's there or not. So I've never subscribed to, if you date me, you got to pay one of my bills. No, because my bills got to be paid whether or not you're here or not, because me and mine got to live here. And these are my kids. This is my house. Like, I got to take care of my house whether I got help or not. But if you show up to my life, we need to see that we're helping one another versus hurting. Like, because what they say, I can do bad by myself. So if you showing up to my life, you need to be adding to, not taking away from. And that's what I need to be doing too, and whatever that looks like. And it may not always be financially.
Right.
And don't expect you to be moving in just because I already got it together.
Don't
Don't
definitely
expect
no,
that
not that. No.
You know, it's not for you just because I take care of myself to say, oh, okay, she take care of herself. She don't need me. She don't want me. Or that's an issue you need to go to your therapist about and see what the problem is, because me not asking you or not begging you or making it a obligation for you to want to do something for me, it doesn't mean I don't like you, doesn't mean I disrespect you, doesn't mean any of that. It just means that this is what I was doing before you walked in the door. This is what I'm gonna continue to do with you with your foot in the door. And when your ass leave, I'm gonna still do that too. I'm gonna continue to do what I was doing. So it's not,
relationship shouldn't be extortion in either direction.
No. And the thing about it is, one thing I have learned is that if a man is going to do it, he will do it. It ain't gonna be you have to ask. It comes a time when you ain't gotta ask. You just open up your phone and he done Zelle me some money. Oh, you go to pay the bill, it says zero because he done already paid the bill. It seems like that you ain't got to ask for it. And those that make it a requirement, kudos to you, boo-boo. That's what you do. And if they're doing it for you,
but that's all you're gonna get, and you really want something else. Like, if all you want is somebody to give you money and you don't want all the other stuff.
But you just said it. If that's what that person wants,
that's all you gonna get.
That's what they want.
Nothing.
When they get ready to say, I want a relationship, guess what? They could possibly get it. It's gonna be a little bit different, but it's gonna be they will get it. Some people, that's what they want. They want the gifts. They want the trips. They want the bills paid. That's what they want. And that's what I say. Kudos to you, boo boo. Enjoy all of it.
On the flip side of this, there are actual women that agree with what dude said.
Mm-hmm. And those are the ones we speak of that have obligations for them to pay.
Mm-hmm.
These are the ones that be like, the man, lead, protect, and provide. But I find that to be subjective, because if
It absolutely is.
I think the women come up with the terms of what leading and protecting and providing means to them. So how does a man in that instance know when he's done or doing these things if it's subjective to the woman?
There, you got to make sure you picking the right woman.
That's called the communication. That's called communication. She should be telling you those things.
And as a man, you need to know when you gotta bow out or pay attention to the signs, because people tell on themselves, and that red flag, you staying in something too long. Or we've had a red flags episode even last week, talked about you not compatible, but it works. Those are some of the things. For instance, this black man is in this other room up here. So many women have discounted him because of the type of work that he does, because it's not really glamorous and they don't think it's a lot of money in it. I have never had to ask for a single thing, period, ever. And I have been out on trips. I ain't paid for a meal. Today.
I get that. I put drinks on the shelf. I'm a merchandiser.
And so they think
whatever the fuck I want to do.
Exactly. And so a lot of people discounted him up front. He's a really good guy. Not just saying because he's my guy, but he's a really good guy. A lot of women skipped over him. Yeah, because Rosa knows him. She knows he's a really good guy. A lot of women skipped over him because of that. And then because he has 3 children, they like, oh. And then he said he's gone out with women that he liked. And when he saw that they were into a man dropping off money constantly, he was like, I can't afford you. Like, I can't. And one of the reasons why it took him so long to really come to me is he thought that he wouldn't be able to provide for me in the way he felt I deserved to be provided for. And I had to say, hey, money is great. I see you about yours, but you provide for me in ways that are way outside of money. And that's more important.
There are women, like you said, there are women out there that do that. And it's crazy because they always want to go, well, back in the day, men took care of home. Well, back in the day, those men wanted women that didn't have kids already, neither. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Not even that. I already have
kids. Let's go back to Uncle Earl. Uncle Earl.
And he had a woman down the street.
Annie Mae around the corner. He had Betty Susie.
He paying for
3 towns over. And he had kids with all of them.
Yeah, so he got to pay to keep the house straight.
Thank you. So he took care of both households, but at the same time,
but it's kind of like
and Betty Mae was fighting with each other because they would neither one of them were happy.
Pick and choose what they want to fit in their lives.
Yeah, you choose your heart, because none of it is easy, but you choose your heart. And whatever you're truly fulfilled and happy in, whatever that looks like, do that. If money ain't that important to you, that's cool. If you cool with, that, then okay. If money is everything to you and money is your love, then don't be upset if you don't get a lot of time or a lot of affection or a lot of support.
But usually, now let's understand, some of these people who are okay with the money, they're okay with not having the time because they're using their time to do exactly what they want to do.
Right. Yeah,
they're okay with it. They know that there is that. They know that a man or woman who is about their money is busy getting their money. So they don't have, they don't always have the time. They don't always have the proper communication skills. They have just enough to satisfy this person that says, okay, I understand you don't have the time. I understand this and the third. And they're okay with it. Now,
it's like, okay, he couldn't celebrate with me on Valentine's Day because it was a Tuesday, but he flew me out to Miami that weekend.
Yeah. I hung out with my girls on that day with this, that, and the third. They are okay with it.
Works
they understand there's a trade-off.
That's cool.
Yeah, they understand that there's a trade-off. For somebody who's making millions and doing all, there is a trade-off because that person, for them to keep that, they have to constantly be working. So there's a trade-off. And some people are okay with that. If that's not what you want, that's why you have to understand and go back to our other episode. Can't remember which one it was, but go back to our episode about love languages. And this will tell you which of these type of relationships we okay with you. If getting gifts and things of that nature is your number one love language, that'll be a perfect relationship for you.
But if quality time is your number one thing, then
that is not the one.
all the money can't be made if y'all got the snuggle. If you got the snuggle and look up in his face to know that he love you.
If you got, and it ain't gonna be cool snuggling via FaceTime.
No,
It just ain't gonna work.
no, it's not. Because I had to do that this week. No, it's not. No, no, it's not.
So
I'm all in the phone like this.
Let's go. Y'all stupid. I cannot deal with them. I cannot. Now, we will say this. I don't see how me paying my bills would make me lose respect for a man. How I lose respect for a man.
I didn't get that part.
I get what he was saying, but all of it was it was so misplaced. That might be the situation if you're in a relationship with a man already. Yes. And as the woman, you feel like you're doing all the budgeting, you're working all the overtime. You know, y'all got this event or something, a child's birthday party or a trip coming up. And as the woman, y'all in this household together. Y'all already have shared resources and y'all pool your resources and all of that. And there's something coming up or y'all saving for a house or whatever. And as the woman, you're getting the second job and you're doing all this extra stuff and making sure and he like chilling with his one job, 40 hours a week. He come home, he play the game or whatever he do. When he get off, he go to the gym or he just sit and that's it. Like, bruh, like I'm hustling. This supposed to be like, I go, where's your hustle? If you're in a relationship, y'all both going over the edge or he's going over the edge to cover you.
And that goes back to last week's episode. You ain't compatible. Because your goals and priorities are somewhere where are not. He's just along for the ride.
One person may have a job and the other one don't have a job, or one is comfortable just being, a general employee, and you want to be the CEO of the company over time. You know what I'm saying? Like you're interested in going up the ranks, and your partner is just comfortable at this same position.
That's a whole nother subject in itself, because then that makes the woman the breadwinner. And is that okay?
There's nothing wrong with the woman being a breadwinner.
It doesn't make the woman a breadwinner. If he does have a job, he's just cool.
Yeah, if she makes more than
he's not bringing in what she bringing in. That makes her the breadwinner, right?
No, that's subjective.
That's subjective too.
Yeah, it's subjective because I make what I make every 2 weeks, no matter what, right? And it's going to kind of be that I can work overtime or whatever, but more or less, if I work my 40 with my insurance and everything coming out, my check is going to basically look the same, right? My person has a lot of other factors that affects his work schedule that's out of his control, like the weather. So he don't have control over that. So it's some weeks he make twice what I make in a week. And then next week he make like $400 the whole week.
And that's why we're not doing it bi-weekly. We're doing it annually.
So if you do it annually, but because his work is seasonal, no, that applies. For me, it applies. We can't look at it for you.
No, I'm not saying in y'all situation. I'm saying when I look at it, I always look at it as annually.
Who make the most money a year? Oh, he do all day long.
Gross. You know what I'm saying? Well, okay, so if that's the case, but I'm just saying if it's flip-flop, and I make more. I've been there. I've already been there. I've done it. I've done the 2 jobs. I've done all that. Been the only one working. The only way I lost respect was because I'm working my butt off. We got to go. And I understand that at the time, the way job situations were, it was easier for him to stay at home and watch the kids. It saved us money because we didn't have to pay a daycare. We didn't have to pay a babysitter. It worked out for us. And then he would pick up little odd jobs. Fine. The problem became when you got too comfortable sitting at home to the point where I was busting my ass and killing myself, and you have the audacity to sit at home, play the game, watch TV, be in your damn boxes all day. And next thing I know, you got a new chick. Hold on. Now I'm losing respect because you ain't showing me no respect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not. And then you have the audacity to complain that, oh, you work too much.
Storyteller.
Because you ain't working at all. Because you're not working at all.
See who the storyteller is?
You say what? What you say?
I tell stories sometimes too. But
storyteller.
She do everything.
Whatever.
You see, he labeled us, Rose, at the beginning of the episode. He was like, I'm the logical one, you the storyteller, and he, throw that random ass shit that come to his mind that mostly
He
ends
just
in sex. He ain't really went sexual today, though.
He really was. Well, I was. When you said he was seasonal and he works during the weather, so he out there laying brick on you.
When it's
sexual.
raining outside.
I told
well, he
you.
make it rain. He can make it rain right laying the brick.
We got 10-15 minutes left because I got enough.
No, we did. No, that was good. We were good. We were good. I'm gonna let you get the brick laying over there with the abstracted oils. But
up.
yeah, just to sum this one on up, it's not masculine. And if you think it is, ladies, that's your opinion. If you look downward on the man because you doing everything, I mean, you want him to come right off the street and woo you and then start paying your bills. No. Like, how does that work?
It don't work like that. You got to build up.
If that's the case, you are always going to be masculine.
At that point.
So
I ain't gonna lie, I'm skeptical if somebody come off the street and start doing it just off the rip. I'm like, hold on, partner.
Excuse me.
What you trying to do? What you doing?
Trying to lock me into something I can't get out of?
You like, hold on, cussy, hold on, stop, pause, pump your brakes. Wait a minute. Let me give all this back to you, cause that means he might be crazy at the same time.
So before you close it out, Q, have y'all saw the picture of Rihanna and A$AP Rocky in the comments that have been made?
And I saw I saw one when dude was like, no matter what, you're supposed to be in the head, the front.
He sound like one of them damn passport
then
bros.
The woman who shared it was like, wait a minute, the whole article is about Rihanna, so why would they put him in the front? Like, people just look at shit.
So there's someone, I don't know who she is, I can't even pronounce her name on here at all. On Facebook, she nailed it. And I'm not going to read the entire thing because it's really long, but I'm going to read a portion that ties into what we talked about tonight. And we can have a whole other episode about this because we really can. So we talked about tonight how this guy's saying that when women pay all the bills and they do all this, they're masculine and they don't respect men, right? And you said, Q, that women agreed and subscribed to this mindset.
There are women out there, yes.
So there is a point in this post where a woman said, she said, I see women often consciously or unconsciously opt out of greatness because of this thinking, where if a man is not leading at all times, he's emasculating or you making him feel less of a man and you can't respect a man if he's not in front of overpower. So she made the statement saying that some women consciously and unconsciously step out of greatness or opt out of greatness so that they can uphold this type of thinking and behavior. I, myself, in my first marriage, I did the same thing. And then she continues to say, the truth is often when a woman is very successful, there is the idea that her masculine partner is emasculated, especially if said woman is confident and unbothered. Add to that misinformation about the concept of masculine and feminine energy. We all have both and we balance them according to many different factors. The current push for performative femininity, plus the fear and wounding of many men, especially Black men who feel like they're disenfranchised and marginalized and who don't feel empowered enough to address the real systemic issues, but instead do many unconscious oppressed folk do and try to look for someone they can oppress. So they're saying, she's basically saying that a man is not any less masculine if he supports his woman in her moment. Because if you're a partner, I shine and he shines as well. And we may not always be shining together. It's about supporting.
A lot of these old school rules, which people want to still use today, are outdated.
They are.
If we're
they were never right. They were never right to begin with. You got to consider how uneducated our great grandparents were, and they made it up.
You got to also understand that our great grandparents and things of that nature, the women could not own bank accounts. They could not have they could have a job, but they couldn't even have a bank account. They couldn't have further things.
In the Black household period, as a Black man, he was a boy outside of his home. So the only place he could have power was in his house. So the Black woman understanding that my husband is considered a boy.
Mm-hmm.
because he's a black man. No matter what age he is, he's considered a boy. So I want to empower him by making him feel like king under the roof. But then that turned into men just being controlling and over their family and just rude. And that's how you start getting the abuse, because he's being held down in the world. So the only place he can get power is in his home, because his children and his women are supposed to, listen to what he says, but they took that power out of control. And so then our parents and grandparents wanted to change their narrative. And then it turned into independent black woman. I don't need no man. And now it's like too far on the other side.
I thought the common goal was,
episode.
I thought the common goal was to be together, to work together, no matter
partnership.
what.
It was
money is being brought in.
Has been, still is, but unfortunately, there were powers in play that did not allow it in certain relationships.
And in certain religions.
Yes. So because of
I ain't gonna name the two that I want to name right off the top. But in certain religions.
Yes. So then you could not be. So if women could not handle, if I can't even, I can manage and budget everything from the $100 that we get down to the last penny, but I can't walk in the bank and pull nothing now because it's in his name. I can't buy a house if I'm married without his name being on it. I can't do anything. So yes, women had to stay with men regardless to what the situation was.
And that's not the case anymore.
And it's not the case. I can go buy my house. I don't need him. I don't need none of it. I can go buy it with my money.
But you do need him.
I want him.
Yeah, you want them, but you do need them too. We need each other. That's the thing. Why they try to always say, I don't need a man. You need a man, and a man needs you. Point blank in the period. Both ways. It's both. We need each other, and that's why we struggling now, because it's black woman against black man, and it should not be, because there are bigger issues. We need each other.
And you got me on the podcast. And so, as I was saying,
I was trying to keep going, but his whisper was so damn loud with their foolishness.
So, but like I said, but my thing is, I understand there is a need for a man,
turn down yet
but the want that I have for him is so much greater than the need for him. Yeah, when he does come into play, it'll be okay. It'll be more than okay.
You're gonna be open. You're gonna be open for that.
But just don't bring no foolishness with you, sir.
No.
Leave that over there.
Yeah. Straighten it up before you get to me. Or when you get to me and you want to stay here, clean it up on the back end.
Yeah, you hear it. Another episode in the books.
Oh, and we got like 4 more episodes to pull out of this one conversation.
Man.
I'm ready, y'all.
Man, this goes 1,000 ways. Because I know that y'all be sick of hearing this type of stuff, but really, in real talk, this be some deep ass conversations, because there'd be a lot of confused people out there.
It's a lot of confused people.
Even though this show is opinionated as well, I mean, you can form your own opinion on it. If you want to be masculine and have your mustache lady, and that's fine.
A mustache lady. That's
people understand that. If people understand that people are both masculine and feminine, male and female are both masculine and feminine. I just realized what the hell
I turned into Q. It's hormones though, man, He goes awareness and shit.
He goes that. I was just saying. You want to be
my bad, Rose, I'm sorry. I'm acting like Q, I'm sorry. My bad.
You want to be masculine, changing the tire on your nice
now, mind you, hold on. Changing the tire. I know how to change a tire. I know how to change the oil in my car.
I know, because then you had to pump some air in the farm's tire. And on that note,
nope, I didn't.
On that note, we bid you a farewell on. I love you, Rose.
No, you don't.
Just jokes.
You just lost the 3 little stars she finally gave you that have been snatched. You got to
give me my gold star back.
Just jokes. We'll see you next week here on We Just Talking Ish. It's going to be found on our website, wejusttalkingish.com. Visit that. I put a lot of work into that. Oh yeah, there it goes right there.
To get it right.
Apple, Google, and right here on YouTube. Yeah. I'd rather you watch so you can see the beautifulness that I get to see filming these. Slip the tree and get to.
Yeah, let me get to my black man who pay bills without asking.
Who pay bills without asking.
Who do laundry without asking, make up beds, wash dishes.
Hey.
Well, there's that. All right, y'all. Bye-bye.
Let me get my mouth ready.
Good night.
You are listening to a QLB Media Group podcast.